vital that the people of Kings Lynn are kept informed about what this Tory-led government plans for our NHS. It's the Welfare Reform Bill next.
The Joint Commission on Human Rights, the government's own commission, reported on Article 19, which is the right to an independent life. And Dr. Harwood Francis, the MP for Aberavon, was finding that the government haven't even looked at the cumulative effect on disabled people and those who are on lower incomes of all the different cuts that are going ahead at the moment. He is finding that, the committee is finding, that the government are actually in breach of their international obligations by a lot of the work that they have been doing around this health and social care bill.
The significance of endlessly repeating reform in connection with this bill, and it's echoed throughout the mainstream mass media, is not merely that the bill actually is the opposite, it is the deformation of the NHS, but it also positions the government as improving it, and positions us, the critics, as against reform of the NHS.
It's hugely controversial, not just with Labour, but with the Lib Dems too, and it's been rejected by at least 78% of GPs who are supposed to implement it, and rejected by almost every medical Royal College, and all of those have had consultation with their members. The Institute of Health Service Management and managers in partnership trade union have rejected it. Every single trade union and the TUC have rejected it. It's been criticised by almost every think tank, and even the Patients Association have opposed it. Polls over the last couple of weeks have shown that the voters are rejecting it.
What this bill, however, does is it sets those different healthcare providers against one another. It introduces competition law for the first time with the NHS. In other words, what I talked about before, about how one hospital scanned and another hospital operated, actually if you get hospitals working together, they could find themselves running foul of competition law because they should be competing against each other and not operating in cooperation.
These companies are not going to queue up to treat us as we get older. People who, before they go into the care homes, they need a lot more health care, and they're not going to be viable, so older people in this area are going to suffer.
With this dreadful bill, we are on the cusp of what Nye warned against. It's a bill designed to enable the private sector to profit from the publicly funded health system. Bevan called them harpies who batten on the sick.
I asked Mary Archer, I said, what do you think the impact of lifting the private patient cap will be on Addenbrooke's in the next few years? An innocent question, of course. And she smiled wryly and said, I think I'll pass that to my chief executive. And he said, it's absolutely clear what the direction of travel is. As far as we're concerned, we're part of a global healthcare market. What we're looking to do is pull people in from across the world to treat them here.
Yeah. And they now see the easiest profits to be had in this country are by taking the biggest source of money there is and making it private. The biggest source of money is tax. It's 45% of the UK economy that goes in tax. And they think if we can lay our hands on that and take a cut out of it, rather like bankers take a cut out of everything that they do, we'll end up paying ourselves £1 million bonuses too for running the NHS. Oh yes, I'm quite sure that's what the chief executive of Addenbrooke's is looking at. You have no doubt at all that's where this is going.